Hey guys, just thought I'd put a video update about my, for lack of a better word, indigenous problem. If you got, if you're a boxer, last thing in the world you want to do is crack one of these on somebody. There's no way in the world. Number one, if it's another kid, yeah. But there's no way in the world, not that there's an adult in the vicinity of us, that I don't think my son wouldn't bash their head in. Myself, I'm getting a little older. But I've told a couple of people I'm not going to let my son break either one of the golden tickets. It's just not happening. That's not going to get broke on an ignorant's head. But I'm going to give a real self-defense course right here, right now. You guys know, I don't know if you know, I got a scar here. I think it'll show up right in here. I've got a plate about this long attached to my spinal cord. So I'm not going to sit around and give anybody an opportunity to hit me. But I am going to tell you something. If you got a problem out there, no matter where you are in the world, if you can get a hold of these three items, really you just need the first item, and you can take care of business. If somebody's approaching you and walking up on you, and you done warned them, give a load of this, right? Just spray it right in the eyes. My suggestion is do like we did, and give 1 or 5 whacks with this and finish the problem. Now, if you use this and you plan on using this, whether you use this or not, I would always have one of these handy in your waistline behind you and covered up in case you need it, because you never know what anybody's got on them. But I'm going to tell you right now, and I've warned all these people around me, but I've spent a lifetime warning people, and now that I can't really fight no more, I'm still warning people. I spell out what I'm going to do before I do it. I explain it very thoroughly, and people are still too dumb to pick up on it today. Get a load of this in the eyes. If they got one of these, while they're trying to dig this out of their eyes, you go for this and you beat the shit out of them and pistol whip them with their own thing. But I'm going to tell you right now, somebody runs up on you out in the street, generally, more often than not, they're not going to be armed anyway. And if you're like me, you're getting damn near 100-year-old, just put some of this in the eyes and put some of this on top of the head or in the face. It's always good that when you walk off that there's teeth missing. That's always a good thing. That makes the person always remember the wrong that they did to the other person. Now, all this being said, I want to tell you guys something. I try. I mean, really I do. I try real hard to have a good walk. I'm at the point now. I really need to be. If you're 18 years old, you need to be thinking like this. Think like an old man that knows when his time's coming and it's drawing near, and you got to get right with the Lord. But I'm going to tell you something. There's a bad misconception biblically over turning the other cheek. Really turning the other cheek is turning and letting them see these cheeks. It literally was deciphered at the beginning, or understood at the beginning, that they see your butt cheeks as you're walking off. It means steering clear of the trouble, going away, not causing anyone around you any trouble, not walking around with your chest puffed up, trying to bully other folks. If any one of y'all came here and hung around me a week, you'd say, this is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. I know in a lot of my videos I'm pumped up and I'm upset about something or something's happened. Typically I like to share videos like that because typically there's a warning or something that needs to be known when something so bad is happening. You need to share out and say, hey, beware of this, stay away from this. But I'm going to tell you something, up in this house, up in with us, we're not going to back down from nothing. You can be drunk on the street, you be careful, you might threaten me. You start to threatening my son, my daughter, my wife, or my dog, it's going to come back on you. And I'm telling you, if you are getting pumped up against that I'm that way, I want to tell you the reason and the trouble in this world is because you're upset with somebody like me that will defend himself, that will eradicate a problem. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to fill you in a little bit on how this happened. I warned everybody. I talked to everybody. I warned everybody that could come get me and lock me up. I got the scope on what can I do and what can I not do. So you need to make sure that wherever you're at, because in a whole lot of countries you can't even defend yourself. It's just not permitted. But when I found out at worst this would be a ticket, this got applied. And when I got told if there was one step advance after this that I could just free reign, then I did free reign. And I'm telling you, had that guy pulled a gun on me, he'd be dead this morning. He'd be dead today. And I would be sitting in here and I wouldn't be that upset about it because I can't have anybody threatening me or my family. Sick of it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not sick of it because nobody does these things to me. Here in this country, you got people that get riled up and they curse each other out and then they walk off, but they'll make tremendous threats. And the thing about threats is you don't know, is it serious? Is this going to transpire? What's going to happen here with this, or what's going to happen with that, or whatever? And you just have to do what you got to do. If I'm old, broken down on coot, which I am, and I'll stand up in a flat second and defend his family, what should you be doing? When the police tell you there ain't nothing they can do, when this one or that one says, well, we don't know what to tell you, I don't know what to do, what are you going to do? You know, you're going to just run off, or what are you going to do? And I'm telling you right now, folks, I'm going to explain when to back down biblically to you. And that's the fifth of never. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. And anybody that contradicts that, let me tell you, at the end time, they're going to be coming, and the Bible explains this pretty clearly. They're going to be coming, and they're going to mark us with something. And you got a decision. Are you going to take that mark and go on to hell and be on the side of Satan? Or are you going to stand up, go to the chopping block, and be on the side of the Lord? I'm going to tell you what. I'm not the most brave guy in the world, but I tell my family pretty much weekly it comes up, and I say, we've got to be prepared to put our heads on the chopping block. Got to be prepared for that. And because I'm going to choose the chopping block every single time. I'm going to choose that chopping block. So, to those that cower and run and clear out, there's a time for peace and there's a time for war. There's a time for love. There's a time for hate. There's a time to laugh and there's a time to cry. But there's always a time to defend your family. You might not be able to do it right there in that second. You might have to go around the block a time or two and be patient as you're going around it. But you need to be defending your family. And I'm old school. I'm telling you, once a threat comes out, I'm banking on that you're going to do exactly what you said you were going to do. A lot of people say, well, don't take that person seriously. Well, you never know. Maybe that person goes and gets on drugs and then decides he's going to carry it out. Maybe the person's drinking down the street and you walk by, or they're outside of a store you're at. You see a plethora of situations. And they're drunk, or they're getting drunk. If you live somewhere where they have these outside roadside cafes where you can stop and get drunk all day long or whatever. So you've always got to be prepared to defend yourself and defend your family. Always. And I want you to know, boxers, young boxers, don't get the idea because you can beat up anybody in the ring that you can do that on the street. Getting it on in the street and getting it on in the ring are two different things, and it's best not to even ever be in the situation of the street thing. It's no good. This crap that we went through today, I don't wish on anybody. I don't wish on anybody. And there's a lot of guilt rolls around. There's apprehensiveness of, is this moment going to come? Is this going to happen? A million and one different things that goes through your head. You get in a problem or altercation with somebody, you get so angry, your head hits the pillow and your brain starts going. And you start thinking very bad thoughts while you're trying to go to sleep, or maybe you wake up in the middle of the night. So I'm telling you all, it's best to have peace and best to walk in peace. But do not ever let anyone just get away with scot-free on threatening you or your family. You don't want to do that. Those threats may come true, maybe not this week, next week, or the next. And if you are going to make a stand, you best make sure you bash so hard that you've got them in such fear that there's no way they're going to reprise on you. No way. No way they're going to call anybody else to come try to reprise or anything like that. So when you do stand up, you better be prepared to go all in to do that. But seek peace first. In this situation, I tried to seek it. I tried to seek it on 4 different times on 2 different occasions, and the guy didn't want peace. He wanted war, and he got it. I'm sure right now he wished that he was peace-seeking. Well, I know he is. And I don't feel one thing, nothing. I know he's cowering, and I know it's the end of it. So if I didn't, I would be waiting, and this thing would not be finished. And I'm always going to have eyes in the back of my head, protecting myself and looking. So as a matter of fact, I'll have a point guard out with me for quite some time to come now. And it's no way to live, but you can't go through life backing down and cowering from situations. And you boys out there that's come from homes with no dads or weak daddies, get yourself out of that mode. You better, because there's going to come a time you ain't going to be able to run. So, and I'm going to finish this. Always seek peace first. Always seek peace.